Hey, this is Leroy Stagger. You're listening to Tell the Band to Go Home on 101.5 UMFM Radio. Rock and roll.
If it ain't something beautiful, something true, something that'll break my heart into something beautiful.
Good afternoon, friends. Welcome to Tell the Band to Go Home. It's UMFM's weekly singer-songwriter show. My name's Jeff Robson, your host, here till 4 o'clock, playing you great music. You like great music, don't you? Well, this is the place to be. It's Father's Day, and we're pre-recorded today. I figured, why not spend time with the family instead of hanging out down at the station? But I am not going to be someone who's going to take the day off. So I got this pre-recorded show, and I think it's going to be a good one, so please stick around. We got some shows to talk about, some new music, all kinds of things. So hopefully you'll enjoy it. Just like to tell you, you can check out tellthebandtogohome.com or find us on iTunes for podcasts. You can actually find us on Google Play as well, I believe. That's kind of new. And you can email me, Jeff at tellthebandtogohome.com. You can find us on the Facebook, on the Twitter. I'm at Jeff Robson. We were pre-recorded last week as well because, well, I took a bit of a trip again. I got to go all the way to Germany to visit this amazing festival called Static Roots Festival. It's put on by our good pal Dietmar and his lovely wife Marion, and what an incredible time it was. Not just, being able to travel that far, which I've never ever done, but seeing just how well a festival can be put together. It's just a one-day kind of a thing, but absolutely every detail was looked after. It was a brilliant thing, and I got to see so many great bands. I'm going to play them all for you today because I just love them all so much. There was actually a show the night before which I got to check out, and that was when I got to introduce to this lady, which we're going to start off the show with. Her name is Anna Mitchell, and she played a great set. She's also in the last band that we're going to hear from the festival, John Bleck and the Rats. So John Bleck and the Rats backed up Anna Mitchell the first night, and then at the actual festival, she's part of the Rats. So anyways, we're going to hear something off Anna's record, Down to the Bone, and then we're going to go through the lineup of the Static Roots Festival, which happened last Saturday in Oberhausen, Germany. And as Daniel Romano found out, there are actually 2 Oberhausens in Germany. He went to the wrong one. He was very far away from where he was actually supposed to be, so he didn't show up. But you know what? Between you and me, I think that was just fine. Got to see more of Leroy Stagger, more of the Windtown Marshalls. Oh, we're going to play them all. Let's start off with Anna Mitchell. Tell the band to go home. Why not? We'll throw something in there from Daniel Romano. That's Maybe Remember Me from his new album, Mosey. Now, we definitely remember Daniel. He was supposed to play the Static Roots Festival last week. Showed up at the wrong city entirely, wrong part of the country, for God's sake, hours and hours away. He showed up in Munich. Apparently there's an Oberhausen there as well. And, well, he didn't quite make his set, and he became a hilarious running joke. Every band that came on stage after that had some kind of joke about Daniel Romano, and they're pretty hilarious. So I hope he had a good time. He actually canceled another show right after that as well. So, you know, maybe that's the kind of guy Dan is these days. I don't know. That'll about do it for this hour. We got more good stuff coming up, though, after the break. Please stick around. Come back for more.
You're listening to CJUM 101.5 FM, broadcasting from the University of Manitoba in Winnipeg.
Welcome back to Tell the Band to Go Home here on UMFM. Thanks for being with us. My name's Jeff, your host here till 4 o'clock. It's Father's Day, so I'm taking a family day, staying at home today, but had to come in and play some music. And hopefully you're enjoying the show. Always love to hear from you, Jeff at Tell the Band to Go Home. Now, I'd never really heard of John Bleck and the Rats before the Static Roots Festival. But boy, oh boy, am I glad to have them in my life now. They were absolutely fantastic. So great. I just couldn't believe how great they were. And I couldn't believe that absolutely nobody in North America knows who they are or cares at this point. Because they could be huge here. If they ever played a folk festival in Canada, or the U.S. for that matter, it would be just a blockbuster. They do phenomenal. They were so great live, even better than the record, I would say. But man, were they good! Check out their album Borders. We heard. What did we hear? We heard Tooth and Nail there, and before that, Wandering Child. And all I needed was a little bit of that song, Wandering Child, at sound check before the festival even started, and I was a fan before they'd even played a song all the way through. So good. We heard something from Leroy Stagger in there from his album Everything Is Real. We heard Stormy. He told a great story about where that story came from after he had been obsessed with motorcycle crime novels for a while. And then he said about that song, the names have been changed to protect myself. I like that. He did some great new songs. Leroy has a new record that's going to come out. We're not exactly sure when it's going to come out. You'll hear more about that soon. He has some exciting news. But man, oh man, the songs that I heard are quite simply the best Leroy Stagger songs I've ever heard. And I've heard a lot, and I absolutely love them. They're so great live, and it makes me so angry that Winnipeg has never supported the guy, so he's not in any hurry to come back here. It just frustrates me to no end. Before that, we heard a guy who calls himself Melogian from the album The Deer's Cry, a song called Julianne, which he dedicated to our friends Dietmar and Marion at the Static Roots Festival last Saturday in Oberhausen, Germany. And the band that kicked off Static Roots was the Midnight Union Band. We heard the song I'm Your Leader off their album Of Life and Lesser Evils. And we heard Anna Mitchell, who played the night before. Great little set at a great little club. We heard Let's Run Away from the album Down to the Bone. And that album and her show featured members of John Bleck and the Rats. And just great players. The thing about this festival was that everybody was just so incredibly nice. I couldn't believe how nice everybody was. It was just a phenomenal thing. Just met so many cool people there, and the weirdest thing was so many people came up to me and said that they'd heard the show, liked the show, love what I do. That never happens here. I go over there and people are just crazy about me for some reason. It was weird and so awesome. I can't wait to go back. Loved every minute of it. Oh, I forgot a song in there. And speaking of nice guys, my favorite band to hang out with and have fun with was a Scottish band called the Windtown Marshals. We heard the title track of their latest great record, The End of the Golden Age. And we heard them just before John Bleck and the Rats. And they were so nice. They're just awesome guys, and they love Canadian music. One of the guys in the band, Ian, showed up wearing a John K. Samson t-shirt, and it turns out that he always wears either a Weaker Than shirt or a John K. Samson shirt. If you look at any of their press photos, he's always got a Weaker Than shirt on, loves the Weaker Thans, and both of them, and some of the other guys in the band as well, absolutely adored Jim Bryson, which I thought was so cool. It was just so neat to find these guys halfway around the world who love the same music that we love. Look up the Windtown Marshals. They are swell guys. Now, speaking of swell guys, I got to hang out quite a bit with Leroy Stagger and his band. This time out, he had his longtime friend and bass player, Tyson Mico, was there. He was hilarious. He's decided to take up stand-up comedy. He's going on the road in Germany, and he's changing his name to Lutz Panhandle. That's going to be his German stand-up comedy name, and man, oh man, was that enjoyable. Also in the band was the newest member of the band was a young drummer named Bramwell Park. He's in a band called the Provincial Archive, who you've heard before on the show, and I loved hanging out with him. He was a super nice guy. We're going to play something from the Provincial Archive, but before that, we're going to hear something from the other member of the band. His name is Ryland Morantz. Ryland is a young guy from Fort Macleod, Alberta. Super young guy, super fun, lots of energy, plays all kinds of instruments. And his parents run the South Country Fair in Alberta, so he's grown up with great music. So he's got a heap of talent. He's got a new record that's produced by Leroy Stagger called Hello, New Old World. We're going to hear something off that. As soon as I picked it up, I got intrigued because he covers Blaze Foley's Clay Pigeons on this record, which I found pretty impressive for such a young guy. And then when I got the record and I opened it up, it said inside, Willie P. Bennett used to watch the California Raisins with me when I was 6 years old. This record is for him. Any guy that loves Willie P. Bennett is good in our books. Let's hear something off this record by Ryland Morantz. You're listening to Tell the Band to Go Home.
Well, I once awoke in the darkest of night. Not even with a lantern could I see. So I lay there awake till the break of day, in the still and the silence, in the peace. And I once rode a train to the ocean, but jumping after trains wasn't for me. Now I ride me a rocket through the big blue sky, and I wave down at the trains underneath. Oh, now I feel it in my heart and in the ground. When this life is over,